You see them everywhere. Blank, lonely stares or forlorn faces peering back at you from behind garbage bins and trash piles. You see them jumping frantically, straining against taut, tangled cables, some struggling to even move against chains of bondage that weigh them heavily to the ground. You hear them, the whining, the whimpering, ceaseless crying as they struggle to attain any source of comfort, as during the day they search for the slightest piece of shade to escape the merciless heat of the sun. At night, the wailing cries continue as they attempt to ease the violent shaking that racks their often emaciated bodies, vainly seeking any amount of warmth that is impossible to find. What you may not be able to hear are the labored, heavy pantings of dry, parched mouths longing for the slightest drop of water, or the loud rumblings of the innumerable hollow bellies that go empty time and time again without sustenance to satisfy these relentless pangs of hunger. And all the while they languish, they feel the creeping, they feel the crawling, as hordes of blood-sucking parasites cover their skin, weakening their vital source of what meager bit of energy they might possess to sustain them, slowly wither away. A coyote's howl is faintly heard in the distance as they shake in terror. It will be a very long night. This sadly and ashamedly depicts the lives of countless dogs in this country we call the United States of America. How is it that in the year 2018, these amazing souls, who we so often proudly proclaim as our best friends, are subjected to this horrific treatment the whole nation over? We often like to boast that we are the greatest country in the world, while these intelligent souls languish on the end of fetters as prisoners without chance of parole. How is it we often gratefully announce we are so blessed to be the land of the free and home of the brave, when our faithful, loving, and loyal companions exist as if they are vile convicts serving a cruel life sentence for crimes they didn't commit? Shockingly, over 20 years ago, through study, the USDA, a federal establishment, deemed canine tethering as cruel. What have we done to alleviate their suffering since then? Well, we at the Anti-Dogfighting campaign feel that our beloved canines have suffered long enough. We ask that you stand with us in support as we introduce you to the National Anti-Chain Campaign in pushing to raise the standards for the protection of this country's canines with a no unattended tethering law. It is beyond time to take action to stop this barbaric practice, to live in a country, to live in communities that are safer and that we can really be proud of. Endless chaining of man's cherished partner must end now. They truly are our best friends, and it is time we are theirs. As of now in the United States, there are only 21 states addressing canine tethering at the state level, and certain counties and cities that address it on a local level. Although one of the big problems is generally the legislation in place is weak, full of loopholes and gray areas, making it difficult to enforce. Our mission is to start with working towards an amendment to California's statewide law, then begin steps to push for a federal law, fulfilling this vision. One of the most vital building blocks with this project is to collect very large amounts of data from professionals and anyone else across the country who have witnessed firsthand the effects of endless tethering of our canines. This is America rising up and speaking out en masse, demonstrating the enormity of this chronic epidemic. A large portion of this material is being gathered via a detailed survey to assist in compiling a fine-tuned master federal bill to present to legislators and lawmakers for sponsorship against this practice nationwide. Some of the professionals we are seeking feedback from are veterinarians, animal control officers, law enforcement officers, rescue groups and volunteers, canine behaviorists and trainers, real estate agents, postal workers, home health workers, cable and power company workers, and other professionals who come into contact with tethered canines. The USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, from the Federal Register Volume 1, Number 68, July 2, 1996, quotes, "Our experience in enforcing the Animal Welfare Act has led us to conclude that continuous confinement of dogs by a tether is inhumane. A tether significantly restricts the dog's movement. A tether can also become tangled around or hooked on the dog's shelter structure or other objects, further restricting the dog's movement and potentially causing injury." The AVMA, the American Veterinary Medical Association, from press releases dated May 17, 2002 and May 5, 2003 for National Dog Bite Prevention Week, states, "Never tether or chain your dog because this can contribute to aggressive behavior." The ASPCA, American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, from their article Fresh Air Fido, quotes, "A dog who's kept outside experiences social isolation. He may engage in excessive barking and howling in an attempt to reunite with his pack." The study Which Dogs Bite, a case control study of risk factors, quotes, "Our finding that being chained in the yard may be a risk factor for biting is in agreement with the prior studies which have demonstrated that chained dogs account for a substantial portion of serious and fatal bites." From the book Fatal Dog Attacks, The Story Behind the Statistics, licensed veterinarian technician and author Karen DeLise quotes, "Chaining a dog is arguably the single most dangerous condition in which to maintain a dog. Statistically, chained dogs are more dangerous than free-running packs of dogs." And as stated earlier, we urge anyone who witnesses firsthand the effects of endless canine tethering to please also fill out our survey. Thank you in advance for your very valuable feedback. Let's work towards an unchained nation.